A defining feature of narcissism is their tendency toward deception. Narcissists are all about constructing a false image of who they really are. You see, way deep in their early years, they came to the conclusion that if they reveal some of their highs and lows and flaws and weaknesses and things of that nature, it may not work out very well for them at all. Love and those kinds of things are very conditional. And so they've decided, well, I'm going to let you see certain parts of me, and there are other things you're not going to know about. And so they go about trying to craft a particular image so that they can have the advantage as they engage with other individuals. Now, one of the deceptions that they make, and it starts with them deceiving themselves with this kind of thought, is they can actually take on a certain arrogance in the... When I say arrogance, I mean arrogance with a capital A. But they can take on a certain arrogance, lording themselves over you, thinking that illustrates how confident they really are. And I want you to understand that arrogance and confidence are not at all the same things. Now, I'm going to go through quite a number of indicators that show that these narcissists have falsely bought into this notion that arrogance really is the way to go. And I want you to, as you listen to this, I want you to think, how many of these kind of ingredients do you observe in those narcissistic individuals who are trying to hold court over you? For example, narcissists in their arrogance have a true exaggeration of their own personal importance. It's like, well, there's the rest of you people out there, and you have your thoughts and ideas and opinions, but then there's me. And everything about me is much more important than whatever it is that you bring to the equation. They overestimate or they over-communicate their own abilities and their reasoning. It's like, well, my thinking is far better than anything you can come up with. They can be very stubborn as they engage with you. They assume that they're right, and they just can't take input from anybody else. To them, life is all about impressing other individuals. That's part of their arrogance. Did you see how terrific I am? Or did you notice these unique things about me? In their arrogance, they think in comparative terms. Relationships to them are an invitation to a competition. I'm better, you're lesser, don't you forget it. Also a part of their arrogance, they have their identity tied to certain tribal memberships, if you will. I'm with these people over here. And these folks, the ones who are the smartest and the genius kind of people, they're the ones that I like to hang out with, or the ones who have the show of success. Tribal membership is extremely important to these people. In addition, they want you to know and give them positive input on some of their achievements and their successes. It's very important for them to know that you believe that they're truly a successful person. In their arrogance, they're drawn toward superficial indicators of success, whether it's flawless looks, or maybe they name drop, or they want to have the better looking house or car or title and things of that nature. Superficiality is something that they're known for. When I mentioned just a minute ago that they have to be right, they can be unbending. That's a part of their arrogance. And they just cannot and will not admit weaknesses. They're very easily critical. Their non-verbal communication can be quite haughty. And they do things like they have poor eye contact, or they have smug mannerisms. Their expressions tend to be laced with sarcasm and condescension. Now, that's their arrogance. And I want you to think, does that sound like something that a confident person would do or be like? And in their mind, it's like, no, I'm so confident in myself that I'm better. And that's the way they think. Now, as you engage with these individuals, you begin realizing in these arrogant indicators or patterns that they show how deeply insecure they are. You don't feel a sense of calmness with these individuals. They don't really value themselves for who they really are. They value themselves for what they can make you think they are. And so there's just not a sense of peace that you pick up on in these individuals. These people in their arrogance can never be satisfied. When they try to win over you, well, the win and the thrill of the victory wears off, so they have to keep going back and doing it some more. And they're always trying to determine how to gain an angle or an edge over other individuals. In their arrogance, they have bought into a certain dishonesty. And I mean, when I say dishonesty, it's chronic and it's pervasive. It's like, I'm going to let you see my strengths and my accomplishments. And when we talk about it, it's probably going to be, filtered through a whole lot of stuff that ain't necessarily true. And they'll minimize their negatives. They just can't be honest about their core humanity. In their arrogance, they lose the ability to love. Interestingly, part of the capacity for love is to be able to go into our places of humanity with our flaws and our weaknesses and our needs and say, let's be open. Let's be vulnerable about that. Narcissists, with their need to craft that positive image, is like, I'm not going to go into that space. Their arrogance doesn't allow themselves to engage in that kind of way. And as a result, they don't know love. They don't know gentleness, and they don't know how to connect at the heart level. And then in their arrogance, you can see that they're absurdly, and when I say absurdly, I mean ridiculously so, thin-skinned. They don't learn, and they don't receive input at all. Now, again, I go back and say these individuals want you to believe that they're really something unique and something special, but once you begin to distinguish their arrogance from confidence, you realize, no, what I'm viewing here is just a facade. See, let's take a look at what it really means to be confident. Now, some of you have picked up on, I like to look at the origin of words. In our English language, the word confidence, fidere is a Latin root word that means trust, and con means with trust. Confident people live with a sense of trust about who they are, and they're trustworthy in the ways that they engage with others. Confident people trust their core skills, and they trust their own internal ingredients. They enjoy positive input, but they don't live for it. They can give and receive compliments well. They have a mind of equality, none of this one-upmanship kind of stuff. Confident people say, I'm who I am, you're who you are, and let's engage with each other, one equal to another. That's how confident people think. Confident people remain steady under pressure, whereas arrogant people get angry under pressure and they go into blame shifting mode. Confident people don't really feel the need to brag and to say, hey, did you see that about me? Confident people share in someone else's good fortune or in their good accomplishments. They like to celebrate what's right and clean about other people as opposed to constantly having to bring it back to oneself. Confident people know when to say, I'm wrong. Confident people know how to say, I could use some help. Arrogant people don't want to do that at all. Confident people will make adjustments when necessary. And arrogant people try to, when there's adjustment needed, it's like, no, you just need to interpret me differently. Confident people are clean in the way that they manage disagreements or discord. And there's not a demeaning attitude that they bring with them. Confident people own their errors. It's like, yeah, I did it. I made a mistake. I miscalculated. Arrogant people, it's like, no, I didn't do anything wrong. If anything wrong happened, you made it happen. Confident people are not easily offended. If someone comes along and says, I don't like the way you handled this, a confident person can say, okay, tell me what your input is. Arrogant people, it's like, how dare you talk to me that way? Confident people have a sense of humor, even about themselves, and they don't feel the need to have humor at someone else's demise. Confident people can be authoritative without being authoritarian. Now, I want you to think about some of the narcissists in your life, and you go through this comparison that I've had. Do narcissists come across as that confident person, or is it just raw arrogance? and that arrogance is part of their deception that they live with. First, they deceive themselves into thinking that they have to portray themselves as something much more than what they really are. You see the stark difference? So I'm hoping that as you engage with these narcissistic individuals and they come at you with all of this requirement that you have to do their bidding and you have to think like they do, and their word is final, and if they don't like you, then somehow or another, then that's going to make you collapse. I'm hoping you can see through the deception that they're living with. And it's like, thanks, but no thanks. I know that you're operating with a delusional and deluded style of thinking. I'm not there. You see, the arrogant narcissist wants to say, I'm better than you. Whereas the confident, healthy person says, I like finding common ground as you and I engage in the human experience. I like that way of thinking a whole lot better. I do hope that you get good insight from videos such as this. And if you've not already done so, I would encourage you to go beneath and hit that subscribe button. It might be that you have determined that you'd like to pursue some counseling, and it may be that you have people in your area that you could seek out. All through my career, I've been encouraging people to get counseling. Obviously, this is what I do, and I believe in it. If you don't have somebody in your immediate area, we've vetted a group that's an online counseling service, and right now that's a very popular way to go. And we have a link below that people can help you out if you go there and then seek their assistance. We also have our websites, survivingnarcissism.tv, drlescarter.com. We have a link to our bookstore that has my books and Laura's books in there. And in addition, we have links to our online video workshops. I really hope that you can learn how to have that distinction between confidence and arrogance. And I want you to be a confident person. And when the narcissists come at you with their arrogance, rather than just collapsing, thinking, well, I guess I'm going to have to play that game, don't play the game. Calmly allow yourself to be what you are. Recognize that these people are troubled souls. And in the meantime, I hope that you continue to make healthy initiatives towards goodness and steadiness so that you can be known as a person of peace and dignity.